So, I was just sitting here in my bed chamber. No, I haven't finished fixing things up yet, so I'm not ready to show anything else yet. The studio is not done yet, all that good stuff, so I'm still waiting for me to get it all together because nobody else is going to do it. And nobody ever did do it. It's always been me. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. I was sitting here in my bed chamber there, or here and there, somewhere, and I was just thinking about how, you know, I started a brand new system of Kung Fu by combining my street boxing. Yes, it is different from boxing like in the ring. With my street boxing combined with what I've learned with Tai Chi. Now, excuse me, nose, nose head tickling. Now, the name of the channel is Kannabis Kung-Fu Tao. So, in reality, those could be three separate subjects. So, on this channel, you will be learning all three. You will be learning the I Ching because that's what the system style is based on. My system style is based on the I Ching. It's not pronounced I Ching, but we Americans, we do what the hell we want to do. So, so the system is based on the I Ching, thus, to, with, and therefore, and all that good shit. As you learn the Kung Fu, which is based on real Kung Fu, which is based on Wu style Tai Chi Chuan, which I learned at Ying Jiao Pai under Grandmaster Liang Shum, who passed this year. So I combined it with my street boxing. Yes, I lived on the street, believe it or not. No, I've never lived on the street. I've lived in shelters and in people's houses in New York. That was the only thing about being from New York. If you leave and, like go in the Marine Corps like I did, because most people inherit their house or their apartments from, somebody in the family, the mother, the whatever, right? But I left, and my mother left the hood, and when I came back, it was nothing, blah, 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 blah. So no, I'm not trying to get an apartment. I was out here a year, and now I have an apartment. Anyway, so the system is based upon Wu style Tai Chi Chuan, and when I was growing up, the system was called Jailhouse Rock. Today, it is called 52 Blocks. And then different brothers have different, I won't say they're different systems, but they have their own way of, each person have their own way of doing things. And they're trying to make it into a legitimate martial art. So that's cool. They call it, they're trying to get it overall called 52. But it was basically just starting to come out of the prison system when I was coming up in the 70s. And in the gangs, we started using it. So, why am I telling you all this? Because if you're going to study, you need to know all. If you're going to study this system, you need to know this stuff because this is the history of the system. So, so I combine the two, but I'm saying all that because the channel again is called Kannabis Kung-Fu. And I did that on purpose because obviously looking for people who may indulge. You don't have to, but you may indulge in the use of cannabinoids and cannabinoids, and you might smoke. And I've talked to people as a teacher, and people like, "Well, I smoke right now, and I can't practice kung fu." Well, dude, that's when you should be practicing. Well, they were talking about smoking cigarettes, but people believe about the herb the same thing. That's you're gonna lose your memory, and you're gonna. I've been smoking since 10 years old. I can't remember. No, I've been smoking since 10 years old. I've written, I've written 3 books. Well, I got to get them published. But I have a book on the Kung Fu, on the self healing system, which goes into alchemy, and on finance. And it's all based on Tao. So, why again am I talking about all this stuff? Because basically, um, because the channel is named Cannabis Kung Fu, that does not mean that we smoke a joint or a blunt or something and get high and fight like we high off of marijuana. No, that's one of the reasons why I'm explaining this now. Um, the only thing I can compare it to, if you know anything about kung fu or even kung fu movies, is the drunken style, where somebody acts or actually drinks alcohol and then fight like they're drunk. This is not the same thing. So that's one of the things I wanted to explain, is that we don't fight like we high. But at the same time, it was already incorporated in the Tai Chi. What do I mean by that, Bates? Well, when a person gets high, what do they look like? The eyes get small, and they might have a stupid grin on their face, and they high. You don't know what's going on in their brain, but they high. And that's most people that smoke or whatever, the holy herb, we call it in my temple. You know what I'm saying? And most people peaceful, blah, blah, blah. They don't get all wild like off of crack or some shit. But so in the Tai Chi, guess what they tell you? Close your eyes slightly and then turn up the corners of your mouth like you're about to smile. You don't grin but you turn up the corners of the mouth, as opposed to you turn up the corners of the mouth, because they say it brings the energy up, lightens the energy. So this is the face of somebody that's high, and this is the face of a Tai Chi practitioner. And then on top of that, you move in slow motion. So I'm like, I was sitting up here thinking, I'm like, if there was a person called Chang Song Fong, the person that was supposed to have created Tai Chi, he was supposed to have lived was a disciple of Shaolin Temple first. And then he went to Wudong Mountains and studied under Long Fire Dragon, Long Li, who he studied and then put it to Tai. Man, he went to Wudong, and somebody gave that dude what we say holy herb. Somebody gave him some smoke, and they smoked it, and he got like this and start moving. He started doing this Shaolin in slow motion, and he's like, "Yo, dude, this is that shit, dude. I'm moving really slow, and it's doing something." And so we call it Tai Chi, so that's where we get Tai Chi from, I think. So I just wanted to explain that you don't fight in slow motion. Because believe me, people have asked me, "How do you fight in slow motion, Roy?" You don't fight in slow motion. It's tripping me out now because they have a dude, this MMA guy in China, going around beating up old men. Well, whose fault is that? If you've been doing Tai Chi for 45 years, like moving like this, and then you're going to get in the ring with an MMA fighter. You mean these dudes really think they know how to fight because they can move energy and shit? No, dude. Moving like this is not, no, nada, is not training you to fight, especially on the street. So, in this system, you're going to learn how to box, street boxing, and internally, you're going to learn Kung Fu. Now, the cannabis part is like they have a school in Oakland, one of the first schools that teaches the whole spectrum of growing cannabis and cultivating and da da da. They teach the business of cannabis, right? And you can get certifications and all that stuff there. So that was the idea of Cannabis Kung Fu, that this would be the first school we are actually learning a new Kung Fu based on Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do and my street boxing, like I said, Jailhouse Rock. But you also learn about the holy herb. And we learn the spirituality of the holy herb, not just, oh, let's open a dispensary and just sell so we can make some money. No. The people that's going to train in Kung Fu and know this, what the cannabis can really do, it's going to be a whole new thing. So do what you want to do. But right now, I'm going to do nothing because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to chill. I'm out. Peace.